Hey guys, it's Dan J, and today I'm going to be talking about the half-year reset. So, Friday, July 2nd was the halfway point of the year. Today, if this comes out on time, is the 5th of July. It's also the 5th of July in general, the day I'm recording this. And essentially, I'm just going to go through a little bit of a half-year reset framework which I found and can help you to get realigned with the goals you had for the year, or just realigned with what you want to do in life. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is just empty your head. So basically just write down on a piece of paper what is on your mind right now. Thinking about the fact that we're halfway through the year, and yeah, there's another 180 or so days left. What is on your mind? How are you feeling at this point in the year? What's been going on with you? What do you feel like has been irking you for the last 6 months? And literally, this is just writing down on a piece of paper anything that's going through your mind. What's got you? What is literally running around your head? So number 2, more specifically, what actually happened in the first 6 months? So often when we set goals for the year or for a specific period, we can forget about them. They're not really in our face every day. So we start to kind of put them into the back of our mind, and they don't really get achieved as well. So in the what happened in the first 6 months, first of all, pull those goals up and see how close you are to achieving them. And yeah, start there. Start with how close you are to achieving the goals you set yourself for the year. If you're not a yearly goal setter, how close are you to achieving the goals you set for your life? Because you got to have something you're working towards. You're not just waking up and then just hoping for the best. And in reference to your goals, write down what you actually did. So if you had the goal to go to the moon by the end of December 2021, how are you getting yourself to the moon? What's going on there? That is a really extreme example. So for example, one of mine is learn Ateso conversationally, which is the language from where my mum's from. And when I look at that goal, I see that I haven't really done much. So on Anki, I've made a whole load of flashcards, which I talked about in another video, which just suspended, ready for me to learn whenever I want to learn. But I haven't really put myself in situations to learn. I haven't started speaking to my mum in that, or getting her to speak to me more in it. So these are certain things that you can reflect on and be like, what happened and what's going on? And that brings perfectly on to the next point of why are you hitting some goals on the target and why are some goals falling behind? So for example, I split my goals into music, academics, and language. So on the music side, it's going pretty well. I essentially wanted to do 4 collaborations this year as one of my goals. I did one in January with one of my friends. Here it is. It's called Ego. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's amazing. And yeah, another person messaged me this week about collaborations, so I need to get back to them. But I mean, in 6 months, you would assume that I would have had like 2 out of 4. So why is it that I haven't really been doing that? I haven't really been looking for it. I haven't been out there trying to get myself out. I've just been focusing on a sort of me mindset and just marketing myself. But collaborations are always good in creative spaces. So I think that's one I have to watch as well, reflectively. So for your own goals, just think about things like that. What could you have been doing? Why have you been able to hit other ones? For example, in language goals, I wanted to get more fluent in French and Spanish. So I set out a whole plan on how I'm going to learn French and Spanish for the rest of the year. And it's been going pretty well. My Spanish has always been better than my French because I've only been learning French for about a year. But also, I learned Spanish on Memrise, and my French, I don't really learn on Memrise the same way. So if I want to bring them up to the same standard, I have to start using the same systems. And you have to think about it like that. Why is something working here and not working here? It can seem daunting when you first present the question, but when you actually break it down into the small parts, you can really see what you need to do next. And for that, what you need to do next, we move on to framework step 3. So what you need to do is think about what your ideal next 6 months will look like. So first of all, you have to think about who you're going to be. Who do you have to be in order to achieve the goals that you set for yourself for the next 6 months? So you can update your goals at this point. There's no point in having a rigid goal which at 6 months mark you know you're not really going to hit. Just change it a little. Who are you going to be for the next 6 months though to be able to hit those updated goals? And don't just make them weak and like, oh, now this is achievable, and turn it down. Make it more like, although it's a little out of reach, you can still get it by, I guess, increasing the time you spend focusing on that goal. And by increasing the time you spend focusing on that goal, you can easily just increase your productivity towards achieving it in the second half of the year. Just because one half was one way doesn't mean the next half is going to be another way. For example, England only scored 1 goal in their most recent match in the first half. Everyone thought Ukraine actually might have something here, especially at the end of the first half. Then England slapped them. So don't count yourself out, or don't think about the first half as being exactly like the second half. This is what the half-year reset is for, and this is why we're here thinking about these things. And then now you have your goals, whether updated or not, whether they needed updating or not. Set your goals in order of importance. So sometimes we write down these goals and we think, yeah, cool, they're just there. Like over time, we will just put more time into other goals. We might think of them as harder, or we might think of them as more achievable, so we put more time into them, or we might think of them as being easier, so we put more time into them, or we might think of them as bringing us more happiness, I guess, so we put more time into them in that as well. But for you, just order them in order of importance. It doesn't matter what important means to you, just so long as it's your list of importance and you order them that way. And then the 4th step is creating some systems. So we talked about this, and it's all well and good that we have it on a piece of paper, and yeah, it's all well and good that we think that we've got it down and it's totally fine, so now it's going to work out for the next 6 months, because that's definitely what happened from January to the end of June, isn't it? No, we need to create some systems that mean that we are putting in the best we can to achieve these goals. It's easy to write things down and just leave them to the side and then be like, cool. But did that work in the first 6 months? I don't think so. If it did for you and your systems are working and you're getting towards your goals, fair enough. Still write them down, write down the system you have, and write down how that is helping you right now. But really, one thing that is definitely important is how you stick this out. What's around you that's gonna stop you from giving up like next week? What do you have? Like, do you have to tell every single person you know, like, oh, I'm going to achieve this, so that every time you see them, they're going to be like, oh, how's your progress on that? And you can't really shy away from it and be like, yeah, I quit, to like everyone. How are you going to stick it out? What is going to drive you forward? And there's points where you're like, this is not for me. I need to leave this behind. And that's what you need to write down on that piece of paper. It's obviously going to be personal to you. Everyone has their different things, different motivations, what's going to keep driving them forward. But just write it down and make sure it's there for you when you need it. And also, on the same sort of lines in terms of creating systems, why do you deserve to be the person you want to be come December 31st? Why do you deserve to be that person? Like, okay, why do you deserve to have a business that's making you, I don't know, if you're starting it now, maybe £100 a week, scaling up to making you a millionaire? I don't know, whatever's on you. Why do you deserve to be that person? What in you means that you should be that person? And that is sort of a nice driving force as well, in terms of how you're going to stick to the things, create these systems. It's just good for keeping you moving forward if you know why you should be moving forward and why you deserve to be in that place. Because another thing that can creep in when we start to do well is imposter system. One thing that creeps in is imposter syndrome, and it's like, we do deserve to be where we are because we work to be here. There's no true luck in this world. Of course, we don't live in a meritocracy, so the people who are the best at what they do aren't necessarily at the top of what they do. but hard work comes with, I guess, if you do actions, then your luck increases, but if you don't do the actions, then you have no luck. So there is a little bit of luck there, even though I literally said there's no luck in this like a minute ago, but we have to put in the actions to increase our probabilities of succeeding. And then finally, number 5, take some action. So you've watched this video, I don't know how long this is going to be, I don't know, maybe like 7-8 minutes long. You've got here to the end. Now you need to take some action. These are words on a piece of paper, and now you need to put those systems into place. What are you going to do today, I don't know, in the next hour, that's going to put your systems into place? Make it so that you are better in the next 6 months. What can you do in the next 10 minutes just to get you through that and get you started as well? Because these next 6 months are going to be amazing for you. They're going to be amazing for me. We're going to put out some nice energy into the world, and the world is going to give us back that energy, and it's just going to be amazing. Come December 31st, just before New Year's, we're actually going to be smiling a whole load, and that is the plan for this half-year reset. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button down below. We just reached 300 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. I did miss a week of uploading last week, but I should be consistent on the next few weeks. I have a few things lined up. I just had some issues in terms of filming in the last week. But yeah, leave a comment down below on what goal you want to achieve by December 31st the most, and I will talk to you in the next video.